Well, ask any coach at almost any level in any sport, and they'll probably tell you about the same thing. Winning is art. That's just the way it is in sports. Winning a state championship, however, is an entirely different thing. It's almost impossible, and at the end of the year, out of all the high school student athletes and teams, only one goes home happy, named a state champion. Mount Notre Dame made history this season by bringing home their first state championship in track and field. And that's just the beginning of the story of state champion Rachel Steffen.
It's the pinnacle of high school athletics to get to lift the trophy, don the medal, and know out of every athlete in the state, you're one of the select few that can say you're a state champion. But what Mount Notre Dame senior Rachel Steffen did at the state track and field championships won't soon be forgotten in the halls of Mount Notre Dame.
I've seen a lot of amazing track and field performances, but her state meet was one of the best.
Rachel made school history when she became the first Cougar to win a state track championship, taking the 400 and 800 meter races, placing second in the 100 and fourth in the shot put.
When I realized I would have a banner in the gym, I flipped out. I was like, I never imagined when I first walked into the school my freshman year, I never would have imagined seeing my name in the gym, ever.
But her accomplishments on the track are more than medals and hard work, because Rachel is MND's first seeded athlete.
Since I'm the first seeded athlete, I never heard about seeded track or anything like that. I don't know anything. I had to not only tell Coach Jay about it, but I had to learn myself.
Rachel was born with spina bifida. Because of it, she has to use a wheelchair. But that didn't stop Rachel from approaching head track coach Dr. Jeff Johnson about joining the track team as a freshman. There was only one problem.
And I said, I know nothing about that sport. And she said she doesn't either, but we learned together. It was immediately obvious that she was going to be very good at this sport. She's an athlete.
First thoughts, I was not having fun. And then I got into it and I was like, you know what, this isn't bad.
I really had to call up the meet director and the timing company at every meet and say, I'd like to put a seated athlete in. Going into this senior season, it actually ratcheted up the pressure a whole lot because here's a potential state champion and this is her shot.
To be the first state champion and the first seeded athlete at MND is an accomplishment all in itself. But Rachel hopes that her true legacy is that she isn't the last.
Just because I'm disabled doesn't mean that's what I classify as. Like, I want to step out of those boundaries and those stereotypes of people who have disabilities and show that we're more than what you see.